What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy JB, back with an episode of JB versus the World. I'm your guy, the strongest guy in the room, and your host. And today, I am flying solo to talk about these Spider-Man movies. So, go ahead and put the banner up right there. Haha. All right. So, before we get started, on a quick tip, I want to say rest in peace and my condolences to Christy Knowings, who died today at the age of 46. She was one of the member of All That from back in the day. Actor, she died today of a asthma attack. Um, so my condolences to her and her family, and yeah, my heart goes out to her and all the fans too, that especially like all that alum. Uh, yeah, tough, but anyways, let's get started. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're here, and let's get started. So, if you're here for the Hamilton video a couple weeks ago, you already know what website I'm using. I'm using PubMeeple. They should sponsor me because I'll be going through these Spider-Man films and ranking them like we did with Hamilton last week. And yeah, I also want to say that this week, this coming weekend, what's it tomorrow? D23 is going to go place, and I think we're going to get an official announcement on our X-Men cast. So I'm excited for that. All right, so let's get started. First matchup we have is Spider-Man Far From Home versus The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man Far From Home, that was the one with Mysterio. I thought that was cool. The Mysterio thing kind of fell flat for me. I like Jake Gyllenhaal as a villain. I like him as Mysterio, but you know, me, being, aware of the comic book lore, the whole Mysterio thing came from a mile away, so that didn't really do too much for me. Amazing Spider-Man 2, terrible Goblin, terrible, terrible waste of Harry Osborn, and Jamie Foxx was cool. Dang, these two are going to be amongst the bottom. This is a tough one to start with. I'm going to go with Far From Home, that I like better. All right. Spider-Man 3 versus Brand New Day. This is a layup if I've ever seen one. Brand New Day, just really good already. Hey, how you doing? Do I want a math debate? Yeah, right. All right. So easily, Spider-Man Brand New Day. No Way Home versus Spider-Man Homecoming. All right, I'm gonna be honest here. I think Spider-Man No Way Home was a nostalgia grab. I think it is the worst written plot of the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I think everything that happened in that film could have been avoidable, and I still don't understand how Doctor Strange, who's supposed to be Sorcerer Supreme, can't get a spell right through a teenager yapping. Nor do I find it acceptable that Peter was able to beat him in his own mirror realm by using math, like very quickly. I didn't like that at all, and yeah, I think the movie was kind of carried by the nostalgia, and I hate to say that. Spider-Man: Homecoming, I thought was very good. Michael Keaton was great as the Vulture, and the kind of lead into Scorpion and Shocker, and just the five crash out of Michael Keaton and who else was there? The Tinker. Yeah, like we had all these villains in that film, so yeah. Spider-Man: Homecoming, easy. Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 2. Okay. Uh, let's see here. Homecoming gets paced so terribly. Really? You thought so? And you would choose No Way Home over Homecoming. Okay. I feel like the plot of No Way Home was just really just carried by the nostalgia, and a lot of it just didn't make any sense. Well, it didn't make as much sense for it to go down the way that it did, considering the players involved. But back to the Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 2. All right, so man, that first Spider-Man movie is so iconic, but it's so cheesy in a lot of ways. And like, don't get it twisted, man. Ain't nothing wrong with some cheese now, but man, they did a lot of cheesy shit in that film. Ah man, but Spider Man Two is so good. Spider Man Two is so good. I'm gonna choose it, obviously, but Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is one of my favorite supervillain portrayals ever. Like ever. That train scene with Phil Lamar helping catching Spider Man, and oh my god, what else is in that film? Oh, that was just so good. The Spider existential crisis I felt like was necessary, and just the allusion to the comic book where he Spider Man no more. Like they really did that. So yeah, Spider Man 2 for sure. All right, Far From Home versus The Amazing Spider Man. Oh man, I'm not gonna hold you. I think the material that Andrew Garfield was given as Spider Man was not that great on the overall. And I think he's a good Spider Man. Maybe not Peter Parker. I think he's too cool to be Peter Parker. His Peter Parker was way too well adjusted, all things considered. He was way too swaggy to be the Peter Parker that I know and love. But his Spider Man, yeah, I loved his Spider Man. I think I gotta go Far From Home here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Far From Home. Let's see here. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, now we're talking. Let's see here. Let me address this comment real quick. Andrew saving MJ, the Aunt May death, Toby stopping him from Tom on peaks are in Homecoming, plus in Homecoming, Spider-Man didn't do anything cool. To me, the thing for him figuring out his way was cool enough for me. Like I like my superheroes who are young in the game and trying to figure things out and trying to like manage their steps, and that's what he did. So for that, um, yeah. And again, I mentioned like it's a nostalgia grab. Having the other two Spider-Men in No Way Home, like to me, kind of saved the film. But outside of the appearances of them, like what substance drew me to it. Like it's a draw, for sure. It's a draw, but it doesn't make the film for me. I like story. I'm a story guy. So like the action set pieces, the bits of nostalgia. If you want to tug at me with action sequences, cool. But it's not going to fit my overall grade of how I feel about a narrative. What's going on, brother? Welcome in. All right, but back to this. Back to the subject at hand. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus The Amazing Spider-Man. Um, I'm gonna go with 2. I felt like his Spider-Man from 1 to 2, he went from kind of dark. He was very dark in the first one. In the second film, he was all right. Like he was a little bit more adjusted. He was more well balanced as Spider-Man. But his Peter Parker is still too cool, and I don't like the waste of the Osborn family and Harry being the Goblin straight off the bat, and they skip Norman altogether, and Norman dying in the beginning, and even the Nor the whole Harry thing. I don't know. I think by the time we're done here, these two ought to be at the amongst the bottom. But it has nothing to do with none of the actors involved. Jamie Foxx, I thought, was cool in this. Emma Stone was good in both. I mean, she's a phenomenal actress, no matter how you slice it. And yeah, it's just his Spider Man. His Spider Man is like cool, but his Peter Parker is not. I don't know. Amongst the bottom, these two. Spider Man Homecoming versus Spider Man Brand New Day. Woof. Okay. We talked about Brand New Day last week, and I freaking loved it. Brand New Day, I think, is going to be like in the top 3 or 4 by the time this exercise is done. Because Brand New Day just, I don't know. I like my Spider Man as a sad boy. And God, they really hit on all the feels in this. I know my co-host Reggie would say that this is a Jean Grey film, but I don't. I thought Brand New Day was excellent, and I'm going to roll with that. Homecoming versus Spider-Man 3. I'm not going to hold y'all. Spider-Man 3 is one of the worst superhero films I have ever seen in my life. I cannot stand Spider-Man 3. Just can't. Let's see here. Not a comment I'm going to address real quick. You don't think we got an additional story for Andrew and Toby Spider-Man and it affected Tom Spider-Man in a Brand New Day? I think there's a lot of nostalgia bait, but man, if you can see through it. Um, I think we got context about what happened for them afterwards. And I think Toby's was kind of like, we kind of see that him and MJ were kind of like working through it, which was kind of like the thing. Um, as far as Andrew, I thought that was a little bit more important. I think that played more into the story of No Way Home because of how he mentioned how he got bitter and because we thought he was on the mend. We thought he was doing good. Then we found out like you're not pulling your punches anymore and you're getting rough and you're being violent. And it's like, damn, dude, what happened to you? We thought you was on the up and up because that's kind of what Spider-Man does. Spider-Man kind of just takes a licking and keep on taking. I don't think there's any hero that goes through more modern day strife than Spider-Man. I don't think there's any hero that goes through bull just on a day to day, just trying to live. I mean, every hero's got their trauma. Everybody lost their mom, their dad, their auntie, their uncle, whatever, a loved one, a kid. Everybody's lost something, but they kind of like is like where that is. Spider Man kind of just he kind of goes through it kind of all the time, but he kind of bounces back in that same token. So to hear that Andrew Spider Man didn't bounce back, it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of sad. Not gonna lie to you, but I don't think that it affected Tom. I mean, Tom Holland, Spider Man, and Brand New Day. Their stories, their experience with them, except for like the web shooters. And that's not at least not the way that was verbalized. Because at this point, it was like that was 4 years ago for him. Let's see. And to address the comment that Brand New Day was amazing. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. The most fun I've had. Well, amongst the most fun I've had in the movie theater for the MCU film in quite a while. Let's see here. Spider-Man 3 ain't as bad as Blade 2, Daredevil, or Suicide Squad. First of all, why is Blade 2 in this? Why is Blade 2 in it? First of all, Wesley Snipes suplexed the man. He suplexed the man. Now, if you said Blade 3, fair game. I don't even think Triple H did a pedigree in that film. And why do we have a vampire Pomeranian? I don't know. But Spider-Man Homecoming versus Spider-Man 3. Um, yeah, easily Spider-Man Homecoming. Easily Spider-Man Homecoming. There's really not much I got to think about. Spider-Man No Way Home versus Spider-Man 3. Yeah, same deal. Spider-Man Far From Home versus Spider-Man 2. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man versus Spider-Man Far From Home. What I like about doing this is that it's forcing me to like ask the questions. Because I can tell you off the top of my head like which ones I feel like are going to be near the top, but it's the little ones in between time. Like even when I thought about doing this, there's no part of me that thought, yeah, I'm going to do Far From Home versus Spider-Man and which one is better. So I like this. Dang, because this is not easy. None of this is easy. Far From Home versus Spider-Man 1. I got addressed as Blade 2 is the worst of the three. You are bugging. Now, if you think that Blade 3 is good at all, like or really good, let me know in the comments, man. Let me know if you think chat, y'all gotta help me out here because Blade 2 is the worst of the three. See, I don't need no. It's one, two, three as the best to the worst with the Blade films. It's definitely one, two, three. Nah, man. Tripping. All right. Far From Home versus Spider Man. Back to the crux of the matter. Um. Hmm. Oh, the Mysterio thing versus the Green Goblin. Man, I like corniness. And I like corny. I don't mind corny, but that first Spider-Man film was very corny at a lot of points. It was very corny at a lot of points, and then some of the plot. Oh man, but it's iconic. Blowing up, blowing up Aunt May's room, making her recite the Bible verse. Oh, why is Mary Jane in a gauge? The upside down kiss, iconic. She cheat. Oh my god. Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane is the worst. She is the worst. Like she ain't never dated a man she cheated on. Man, once she cheated in every film. I think I go with Spider Man here. Spider Man 2 versus Brand New Day. Here we go, man. This is the heavyweight fight. Because I like Brand New Day. I saw it yesterday. And I enjoyed the crap out of it still. Man, Frank Castle, just New York. I feel like Brand New Day did New York in a way that no other Spider Man film really did for it outside of two with the train. Ugh. His relationship with the police, just him going around in the suit. Oh man, the battle with existentialism in both, and they're both sad. They're both sad sex Spideys in this film. Sad sex Spideys. You say that three times fast, man. I don't know what y'all think. I'm gonna defer to some of y'all, man. What y'all think? Let's see here. You know what? The main Spider-Man 2 did do New York City good. Yeah, he Spider-Man had a good relationship with New York City. And yeah, you're right. I take that back. So that's up there too. Him with the with the firefighter helmet, with the water hose for the electro thing. I laugh. I laugh at that scene every time. With the no look high five. Yeah. So you're right about that. Amazing Spider-Man 2's New York felt lived in. It felt like a part of it. Um, but this is it, man. This is a heavyweight fight right here. Uh, I don't know, man. Brand New Day versus Spider-Man 2. Which one is better? Okay, let's break this down. Let's go villain. Villain, I think Doc Ock clears anything that they were trying to do in Brand New Day. I think that's the easiest distinction between the two. Um, yeah, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is might be the best Spider-Man live action villain. He might be. I don't know. Uh, I think they did New York both in well. Like what was iconic scenes, man? Him versus the Hand. Him versus the Hand and the upgrade of his powers and him dealing with that was cool. Him swinging through the rain after MJ kissed Ezra Bridger from Ahsoka. Um, that was, uh. But then Toby leaving the Spider-Man suit in the trash can, and then they got J. Jonah Jameson in those films, and they got like the J. Jonah Jameson, and I think that's the one thing that Tom Holland Spider-Man's films are missing is an active J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Spider-Man 2, y'all. I'm sorry. And then I'm gonna go Brand New Day here for the dub. Spider-Man versus Spider-Man Homecoming. Sheesh. Okay. Tom's first outing and Toby's first outing. Oh man. Tom's Tom versus Toby's first outing. I don't know, man. Go back to this comment. I think in time, Brand New Day might be better. You know what? You might be right. Time, Brand New Day might be better in time. Let's see here. Hola Nessa, La Madrina. You think Homecoming over the first Spider-Man movie? Really? Okay. I'm. Woo. This is tough. This is tough because Toby. I think Toby's Peter Parker is the best Peter Parker. I think he's got Peter Parker down to a science. But Tom is like right there. But this is we're still in the Iron Boy Junior stage right here. Him still trying to figure out his way, which I was cool with in this film. I was cool with the way he was in Homecoming. Ah, but that Green Goblin and the Vulture. Oh my God, this is tough. This is tough. Mm, I don't know, Chad. Bah! Spider-Man versus Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh my gosh. You know what? By I think I'm doing Homecoming by Razor's Edge. I'm sorry, but I'll definitely take Spider-Man over No Way Home. All right, Far From Home versus No Way Home. Hmm. How do I feel about this? How do we feel about this? Far From Home versus No Way Home. Yeah, well, Green Goblin will always be top tier for sure. Definitely, William Dafoe is a freaking demon. Freaking demon, that guy. Let's see here. I love Toby Spider-Man, and we got the iconic hero song, but I enjoy Homecoming much better. That's fair. I can enjoy them both. I can enjoy them both. Oh man, the Green Goblin always be top tier. That's true. So Far From Home, No Way Home. Mysterio versus the nostalgia bait. I can't stand nostalgia bait. I can't stand nostalgia bait. Like I mean, it's nice in the moment, but when I think about it beyond it being in that moment, I'm just kind of just like, ugh. But it was good. It was fun nostalgia bait though. It was nice to see those three. But we're just talking about it as a film. As a film, as a story, as a narrative, for me, uh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go No Way Home. Yeah, I'm over here wrestling with myself, and I'm gonna go Far From Home for Spider-Man 3. Trash. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 3. Um, yeah, Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2 for sure. The Amazing Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 3. This is the one. The Amazing Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 3. Let's see. I'm definitely watering down No Way Home to nostalgia bait. A little bit. I mean, I maybe so because I wasn't incredibly enjoying the movie before the nostalgia bait happened, and I say that because when I think about No Way Home, the Mysterio snitching, we got Charlie Cox's Daredevil. That was the first little cameo, so that was it was cool, but it was what it was. Then he goes to Doctor Strange to make people forget him, and then yeah, and then they mess up. And I just didn't like that. I don't like that the Sorcerer Supreme couldn't get a spell right because a teenager was yapping. And then when as they fight about the cube that as they fight in the mirror dimension, he beats him because of math. Like I defended that. I defended that once upon a time, and I owe somebody an apology for that. But I don't know. I just feel like plot wise, prior to the nostalgia, that was weak. That's just how I feel. I felt like No Way Home's plot was just overall just weak. So if you think I'm wandering down to nostalgia bait, that's probably why, 'cause I feel like that was the best part of it. So that I mean, those are just my personal feelings about No Way Home. But back to the conversation at hand. The Amazing Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 3. Um, I'm gonna go with the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3 was just so bad. Like it is one of the worst superhero films I've ever seen in my life. They wasted Venom. Um, you had a good thing going with Sandman. You didn't follow up on the whole new Goblin thing. Was cool, but those are three villains that could have had their own movie, and they didn't do it. So I felt very jammed and compressed and very I don't know, just very overstuffed, overstuffed and over and underdelivered. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man. All right, so now we're done. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So coming in dead last is Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man at 8, Amazing Spider-Man at Amazing Spider-Man 2 at 7, Far From Home at 6, No Way Home at 5, OG Spider-Man at 4, Homecoming at 3, Brand New Day at 2, and Spider-Man 2 at 1. That's my list. I think that's pretty solid. Let's see what some of the comments have to say. Doctor Strange always messes up. Yeah, in a way. Let's see here. I'm gonna get rid of this real quick so y'all can see the whole thing. All right. The only time Doctor Strange didn't mess up was Infinity War. That's mostly true. That's mostly true. Did he mess up in Multiverse of Madness? I don't know. All right, I'm not gonna hold y'all though. Like doing this, I learned a little something here. Maybe I value Tom Holland Spider Man a little bit more than I originally thought. Maybe I like him a little bit more than I initially put together. Because I didn't have any issue with Tom Holland, but two of his films, either granted he's got almost half this list, two of his films are in the top three. Mm, let's see. Yeah, that's not bad. And I'm Andrew, 7 and 8 out of 9. Oh no. And I feel bad for Andrew because Andrew Garfield is a fantastic actor. And like I said, his Peter Parker was way too cool, but I think he's got the best Spider Man. I think he's got the best Spider Man. But Brand New Day definitely raised Tom's profile for me. And if we take out Brand New Day, I mean, we still got two of his films in the top 4 out of 8. If we take out Brand New Day, it'll be Homecoming and No Way Home. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you guys think is the best Spider-Man film. Let's see here. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was good, except for the suit. I didn't mind the suit. I didn't mind the big eyes on the suit. My issue with Amazing Spider-Man 1, I didn't really care for the lizard, their portrayal of the lizard. Um, and the fact that he was really trying to, like, his quippiness shone through as Spider-Man, but he was trying to murder folks at first. Like, he was trying to murder dude. Oh, wrong comment. Like, all these movies are 7s and above anyway. Uh, Spider-Man 3 sucks. Spider-Man 3 sucks. I think after the top 8, then it's a long way down for Spider-Man 3 for me. That's down there with, like, Catwoman. For me personally. Amazing Spider-Man, uh, I think it might be like, yeah, it's definitely the second worst. But I think it's still still trying to figure it out. Definitely some cool scenes in it though. Him fighting the police was cool. I don't know. My dog Bobby, Tom Solid, he's like the Pierce Brosnan 007. You know what? You might be right. You might be right. I have no problem with Tom Holland Spider Man, like with him as Peter Parker or Spider Man. I have no problem with him. I'm just not convinced he does anything the best, which is fine. I just don't think he's the best at any particular thing. Let's see a comment. Love Connor's in that film. Like, yeah, it ain't perfect, but it's a product of that time where everything had to be edgy and stuff. Exactly. Exactly. Like, it doesn't have to be edgy. You can just do the thing. Like, there's the blueprint laid out with these comic book properties. Like, all you gotta do is follow the blueprint. Like, you could even do it down to the T. We'll eat that up. But when you try to change too much, we noticed, and we don't have to like that. We can say the same thing about the Man of Steel because I wasn't a particularly huge fan of the Man of Steel after I kind of like digested it. Because that dark, edgy stuff, like, what are we doing? We don't have to do all that. But yeah, I like using this website. They should, Pub Meeple should definitely throw me a sponsorship or something because I'm definitely gonna be using them quite a bit. Um, Definitely want to do this with the Avengers films or the MCU in general or heroes. Talked about this with somebody earlier about possibly using, doing that. But now that this is done, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys want to see me do in this format? Because I'm down to do something with this and kind of make this kind of go. Because we had a great time last week with the Hamilton stuff. Also, while you're here, don't forget, throw me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and hype the video. Do I have a hype button? I don't know if I have a hype button, but if you can't, hype me up so I can get into y'all's algorithm. But yeah, let me take this down now. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. NBA matchups? This is not a sports channel, but you a real one. Maybe I can get on my guys over at Sports for You to do that. Get my guys over at Sports for You. Shout out to my Culture Clash family. One of them, Nessa's going to be on here next week. All right, let me get this down where I was before. All right, so next week we will be doing the state of the MCU. We will be talking to people, talking about our thoughts of the MCU as we're heading into Doomsday. What we think the movie needs to do, what we think is going to happen, and one of our guests was actually in Hall H. And she's talented. She's super duper. She's super duper talented. Yeah, she real fire. So yeah. Oh, what's going on? Hey, I appreciate you for dropping in. I know it's just me tonight. I just wanted to try something different, give everybody a night off, especially because next week is gonna be something different. Like I said, somebody one of the guests next week, she was actually in Hall H, and we're gonna have D23 the announcements tomorrow. I fully expect we're gonna get an X-Men lineup tomorrow, like on stage in D23. So I fully expect that, and we'll talk about that and other things next week as we get to closer. Well, we get too closer as we get closer to Avengers Doomsday. All right, so if you're here, thank you for being here, for taking time out of your Thursday night. There's normally short, but I know that I'm gonna normally be going like 2 hours lately with these things. But it's just me, so I ain't trying to hold y'all forever. All right. Hold on. Before we get started, I got one more comment to address. Man, blessings. Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to be here. Like, yeah, all of you. Thank you for taking time out to be here. Like you see below, right there, on there, the thingamabob, there is all my stuff. If you want to find me on the interwebs, it's JBVersusTheWorld. You spell it out, you put it together. You say it one time like a Tribe Called Quest, and that is on Facebook, Instagram, of course, here on YouTube, and on them blue skies. My central hub is JBVersusTheWorld.com. And if you want to argue with me, it's JBVtheWorld on Twitter because versus was just too long for it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your Thursday nights and letting me into your homes in a non-creepy and definitely consensual way. So until next time, like we normally say on this channel, man, stay black if it applies, but if it's not, I love you anyway. Take care of yourselves and each other. And until next time.